So last time I talked about my N-scale trains and needing a place to live. I lost the space that I wanted, but I came up with this solution here. I'm using the hollow core door, and what I did was I just mounted it above this couch. So it's about 53 inches to the bottom and a few more inches above, so maybe about 55 inches to the top of this door. And if you see, the beauty of a hollow core door is you don't really need to build any bench work. It's just a matter of taking some shelving and shelf braces actually and using the door as your shelf. And then I'll put a foam on top of that, and we can go from there. So I cut out this piece of foam. And now I have a place for the shelf layout to live. So now that I have the shelf up, I have the foam on. I'm not going to glue the foam down just yet, but the next part would be to get my track on and kind of lay it out and see how it looks. But I have a problem. That's my next difficulty I want to talk about. Is the track is on back order, and I got some of the track, but I don't have all that I need for the layout. In particular, I'm not able to buy any of the switches that were planned on the drawing board. None of it's available from any online store. Even I went into several stores, actually several stores around the country, and have not been able to come up with the switches. But I have come up with Flex Track. I bought that from my local store in Orlando, and I got some other track, the curves and some of the other stuff online that I needed. So the point now is what to do. There's plenty to do, and I think that's the point of the story today. Is there's plenty to do. I have track. I can't lay it. The track I have can be weathered. The cars themselves need to be weathered. These Tropicana cars have the pizza cutter style of wheels, and they all need to be changed out. So that's something that needs to be done. I should be getting my new wheels in today. The pizza cutter, the old style wheels, do not run on code 55 track. They run fine on a Kato track, but on code 55 they're cutting into the track ties. So yeah, just because I can't lay doesn't mean I'm stopped and I have to go in a particular progression. No, I have plenty of work to do. I got to weather the cars. I got to change out the wheel sets. I have to build some buildings. I ordered some buildings. I have to kit bash those. I need to weather the buildings. I need to place the buildings. That will actually all help in the long run when it comes down to laying the track and getting the right placement just where I want everything to set. So another thing I wanted to show you is it's kind of dark in here right now, so I need to hang some lights, and I thought I would repurpose this aquarium light. I'm no longer using it for an aquarium, and it's LED strip. It's very bright. All I need to do is hang it above, and it's got a lot of functions that are kind of cool. Okay, so here we are a little later on, and my box of my shipment of model train supplies have just showed up, and I'm unpacking them now. What else do I have here? I purchased this pre-built Walther's water tower. I got my 33-inch wheels to replace the pizza cutters, and I bought some Pikestuff modern buildings. And I got a few different types. I plan on kit bashing and seeing what comes of that. Now, on the prototype that I'm using as a reference, and I say that my prototype is just a reference, I don't plan on rebuilding everything into perfect reality, but really as a reference. For my Sunray Groves orange distribution to get it over to the Tropicana for processing, there's a set of buildings that are there, and I'm going to kit bash a few to pretty much match what I see on the prototype. Okay, so we jump forward a few days, and you can see I put together my Pikestuff modern distribution center. In fact, warehouse distribution center, really it's the fertilizer plant. I still have to put the distribution warehouse together. I ordered that, and I'm waiting on that to come in. But this is actually a kit bash, and it's a kit bash of these 3 Pikestuff models. So by taking the distribution center, the TriStar Industries, I kit bashed those 2, and it gave that a little bit of an offset on the roof. And then on this side, I took one of the segments out of the TriStar Industries and extended the distribution center to be a larger building, stole the roof off of it, and that leaves an empty roof on this extension here when I merged the 2 together. But I ordered an extension kit actually that will give me the roof for that. And really, the fertilizer plant had an additional building here which I was going to put together and add to the complete look to be the more prototypical, and then realized that I didn't really need to do that. I need to have some compression, otherwise the overall building structure would take over too big of a footprint on the shelf. And I want to continue to have the shelf with enough scenic space that it would appear larger. But when you put big buildings on, it shrinks, even though it could be reality. Large buildings would shrink the overall appeal and look and feel to a model. So this is the so far the end result, where I'm going to actually put a couple tanks on the end here. Over on this area I'll put some 3 or 4 tanks for my tank cars to do the liquid nutrients, and then have the fertilizer plant. And then I still have to build, of course, the actual warehouse for the oranges to go into the train cars. So I'll have the refrigerator cars here, and then I have the hoppers and the tanks for the fertilizer plant. So that's where I am. That's kind of going forward a little bit. And you also notice I had hung the lights, which I just talked about moments ago, but now days later I actually hung that LED strip. And I wanted to show you a few of the settings for the LEDs. I don't know how well this will appear on the camera, but you can change the LED settings to morning, sunrise, sunsets, moonlight, changing cloud cover, which is really difficult to see with the camera making automatic adjustments to the light levels for exposure to be correct. But there are a number of settings that you could throw in there, including the lightning and weather effects. But most of all, it's LEDs create a nice bright light. And I'll move back to the you could actually see the camera making the adjustments, but moving back to just daylight. So even though I'm still waiting on track, in fact, I don't know at this rate how long it's going to take the code 55 switches to come in, whether Atlas is way behind or what. I talked to the local hobby shop in Orlando, Colonial Photo and Hobby, and the fellow there said you know, he had no clue when Atlas was going to get their stock back. And I wrote Pfeiffer Hobbies that have their online website, and they pretty much told me the same thing. They didn't know. They just knew that well, it's been out for a while, these Code 55 tracks. So that's what I chose to use, and I'm stuck waiting for those. But just a little bit further on where I am, and I have more buildings coming in. I still have to do weathering of track and weathering of cars, and I did change out wheel sets so that the pizza cutter wheels on these white Tropicana cars, refrigerator cars, are no longer cutting into the ties. And these were a Roadhouse, and this orange one was Bachmann, and Bachmann had metal wheels to begin with, and they ran beautifully on the Code 55 track, while the Roadhouse had the pizza cutter wheels, and so they had to be replaced. So I bought metal wheel sets from Intermountain, I believe. The metal wheels with the, of course, insulated axle, and they're 33 inch wheel sets. So that's what I used to make that correction. Anyway, I'll be continuing to bring you updates as they happen. I don't know how slow they'll be with the waiting on track, but I figured I would merge the original video I had a few minutes ago that you watched with this a few days later, because I went ahead and put the kits together, the kit bash, and begin my model here for the fertilizer plant. So really happy with the result, and like I said, I ordered some more Pikestuff in order to build a few more of the buildings I need. I will say about Pikestuff, they are wonderful, and they're easy to build. They're modular in a sense. They come in pretty much this building sides come in the same sizes, but can be cut down to increments of, you know, I think the walls are 20 foot by 24 foot high, and you can cut them to 24 foot down to 30 foot or 20 foot. You can cut the height of the building to whatever you need, and it's easy to do, and they're nice, but they are expensive. They seem cheap because each building is about $15 to $20, but by the time you those buildings are small enough, so this is actually an extended building. But you know, if you think about it and you roll a car in front of it, the original building was 60 foot, which is not much bigger than the car length of a modern day stock car. Not stock car, refrigerator car or any box car. So you don't want a building that's the size of a car. You really need a modern building that has a little bit more length to that. So with the Pikestuff, you can buy the extension kits or kit bash them like I did, and get a really nice sizable building. So that's the wonderful part of it, but it adds up. But by kit bashing two of these buildings, one that was $17 and the other one that was 20 some dollars, you're up to $35 to $40 for one building. And then I have this other add-on here, which is another $15. So when you think of it, for the price you pay, you're getting close to $55, $60 for a building kit you're putting together. So I guess comparatively speaking, it's okay. I'm fine with that. But just so you know what kind of cost you're going to be into. Usually when you buy like a Walters kit that's already built together, they're $45, $50 and they're all built and ready to go. But they don't get you what you want. So the problem I have at most of the pre-built kits ready to purchase and put on the layout is that they're mostly 1950s era, that era between transition between steam and diesel, and I guess that's the most popular era for people to model. So the modern kits you don't find as much or anything that's pre-built. There are some other modern buildings besides Pikestuff, but not many that you can do. But I do enjoy the modular method that Pikestuff uses. I guess they've been popular in HO. Now they're available, and they're easy to put together. I like that you can. They have the preset sides and roofing, and you basically it's just a matter of piecing together as many panels for the sides, and then putting in a side panel that has windows and doors to your liking, and then just gluing those together, and then putting in a corner brace, and then putting your siding on. It's fairly easy. It's almost like putting together Legos, except for you using glue. But it is quite nice, and for modern building construction, it is the way to go, I think. And they normally come in the blue color plastic, as you can see here in the piece that is going to be hidden as soon as I get the roof on. But this building here, of course, I painted it white, or an off-white type of look. I kind of wanted to give it a couple different shades and tones, and the one building is set up on a concrete pad, while the other one I sat down, and that worked perfectly fine, because that's exactly how the prototype building for the fertilizer plant was. It sets down just like that a little bit, where the roof heights are a few foot difference. So anyway, I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update on how things are looking, what I'm doing, how things are looking, what I'm doing, and how things are progressing. So hopefully you enjoyed the unboxing, the piecing together this kit bashed model, and as things progress we'll update you. And so thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.